It seems like this season is full of surprises for de Vries. The 27-year-old Dutchman has had his fair share of connections with multiple teams on the grid, with Alpine and Williams being the strongest candidates for his signature. Alpine will have him in a one-seat in Hungaroring prior to the Singapore GP to test out his abilities and whether or not he'll be a suitable candidate for the spot in Alpine. However, one spot has opened up for Nyck de Vries, and that is the spot in Alpha Tauri. It seems like the Italian team is finally willing to let go of Gasly, and it doesn't matter that they won't receive Herta in return, they're willing to pursue de Vries as his replacement. Is that really a possibility for the Dutchman? And is there a chance that he'll inherit Perez's place in Red Bull from 2024 and beyond? Stick around with us to find out more. Nyck de Vries has had a phenomenal debut in Williams, and we cannot emphasize how good it really was. He scored 2 points in a car that is underperforming throughout the whole season, and it just goes to show that his place is indeed in F1. After his perfect debut in Williams, he became even more of a hot topic in the sport, and suitors like Alpine have emerged as the potential next team for the Dutchman. However, recent reports said that he was approached by Dr. Helmut Marko, who is the head of the Red Bull Junior program, and that there is a huge chance that de Vries will sign for Alpha Tauri in the following period. But why him? Didn't Red Bull say that the only one that can replace Gasly is Colton Herta? It seems like the team has finally decided to move on from Gasly, but the more precise saying would be, it seems like Gasly is finally ready to move on from the toxic environment in Red Bull. It became evident that his place in Red Bull is a fantasy, and that is why he would like to be released from Red Bull's program and join a top-performing team, such as Alpine. The FIA is likely to not give Herta the super license, which is something that is clearly bugging some minds on the grid, but believe us when we say more faces will be happy than sad about this decision. Protests from teams have started to emerge regarding the Herta situation, and it would be really a shame for the sport if it leaps all of its principles and just straightforward gives a guy from the IndyCar 500 a super license just because the sport has become popular in America. Should there be a USA-based driver? Indeed. But should it be granted this way? Absolutely not. For example, you have Logan Sargent, who's currently driving in F2 at the Williams' Academy, and he could be one of the main focuses of F1 teams as they want to land a USA-based driver. But let's go back to Alpha Tauri and de Vries. There is a very huge possibility that the Dutchman will race for the Italian team in the 2023 season, but why him? Well, why not? He's proven that he can drive far less superior machinery than Alpha Tauri, and although the Italian team is in regressing form, there is a high possibility that they'll increase its form and be much more competitive in 2023. On top of that, de Vries was seen with Helmut Marko in Graz, Austria, in what could be a potential talk about his future. It's very likely that Red Bull have given up on Herta, mostly due to the fact that he won't be granted a super license thanks to the force majeure implemented by the FIA. Another factor that is pointing out to this is that Red Bull have called Herta off the Alpine test that he was supposed to participate in Hungaroring. Well, we for once will be more than happy to see the Dutchman performing in Alpha Tauri. There is a high possibility that the team will consider him as Perez's replacement, as we all know that Alpha Tauri, previously known as Toro Rosso, is known as the breeding ground for Red Bull talents such as Verstappen, Ricciardo and Vettel. Although de Vries isn't nearly the same age as these drivers when it comes to joining the Red Bull affiliated team, he will have a chance to race in Red Bull when he will be 29 years. What do you think about this move by Alpha Tauri? Do you think that they'll be able to sign de Vries in an amazing 10 of events and announce it prior to the Singapore GP? Let us know in the comments below.